Hey folks, how are you? Welcome into Fado Irish pub on the north side of the city here in Chicago. Kevin Egan here alongside Clint Mathis for a segment of A Pint With. This season we'll take you out to many different places around the city and chat to celebrities in Chicago, former Fire players, former US internationals, and today of course I'm delighted to be joined by you. Clint, cheers for joining me.
Cheers.
Appreciate it. How are you keeping? You're in Chicago, are you enjoying your stay so far?
No, the city's great. I've always enjoyed visiting Chicago when I would always play here, whether it be with a national team or a club team game, but lovely city.
The 2002 World Cup, huge stage. Ireland were involved. We had the big publicity obviously with Roy Keane leaving the camp. I'm sure, was that something that you guys heard about when you were out there?
I mean, yeah. You hear about a lot of things, but you don't hear about a lot of things because we're just separated from a lot of stuff on the outside. We get to see stuff on TV, but yeah, I mean, you get to see all that stuff. What's going on with the national teams? You hear gossip, whether it be through guys that have played in Europe with each other and things of that sort. So, yeah, I mean, anytime big news like that, especially a guy like Keane being out of that is big news.
Would you be a self-confessed mommy's boy?
Mama's boy, I guess I could say it, but I don't always agree with mom. So it depends what the consideration of or what your definition of mama's boy is. Do I love my mom very dearly? I was raised by a single mother by her, so to say mama's boy, I'd say yeah, I grew up as a mama's boy, but I'm not the kind of guy that has to do everything mommy says. How about that?
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think it's a fair assessment. So how proud were you though when your mom made that big trip all the way from the United States out to South Korea to watch you play in the World Cup?
I mean, I think it was more of an accomplishment of what she's done. Obviously, like I said earlier, I was raised, by a single mother, and she would work 2 and 3 jobs, to whether it put me through soccer camp or anything. So I think it was all maybe a bit of accomplishment to say not that I just made it, but Mom, look what you did for me. To be able to give me the opportunities to be able to strive and be the best and be able to be on that stage. I think that she got a little pat on the back as well.
Did your mom agree with your haircut at the time?
She's always known me to be a kid that likes to make people laugh, be out there, so she had no worries with it. She probably just rolled her eyes and laughed and probably said, Clint, what are you doing? And that was about it.
Was the goal against South Korea the most special moment in your career, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's definitely one thing that I'll never forget, something that I'll
Was it silence, by the way? It must have just been silence.
The great thing was, people always ask me, how great is it to play in front of 80,000 people cheering for you, doing this? And I go, that's not the greatest feeling. The greatest feeling is playing in front of 80,000 people that are cheering against you and doing something to silence all of them. Yeah. And that was one of those moments to where you could almost hear a pin drop. I think there was probably maybe, a couple hundred U.S. fans in the stands in that corner, and then it was, back then they called it the Red Sea because it was all red shirts. I mean, it was unbelievable. You couldn't even hear hardly from me to you when we were talking out on the field, and to be able to score that goal and hear, just pure silence and just hear the few hundred fans that we had in the corner was something I'll never forget.
Amazing, I'm sure. And talk me through the, obviously after that, then the team went on and lost to Poland. Were you disappointed with your, maybe I suppose your lack of minutes then after that game?
Well, I mean, that's just the way it goes. I mean, coaches have to make a decision. Obviously, I'm in that situation now, and maybe Bruce felt that, or Dave, or whoever, the coaching staff, or made the decision. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you get at that level, you're disappointed by you not playing. But at the same time, you got to be there for the guys. And I felt that was something that I did when we played against Germany. I didn't start. I've always had a good career playing the few times against Germany, also with Mexico. But you can't fault the guys. I mean, look at how the guys played against Mexico. So if I was to sit there and complain, I think that would be dumb because the guys were, rooting me on when I was playing in Korea. Or playing against South Korea, and also playing against Poland. So have to be there for those guys. But Bruce, called upon me when we were down 1-0. Thought I played pretty well in the Germany game. Set up an unfortunate chance that Tony Sana was not able to finish.
Dominated that game for so long.
It was our best game of the World Cup.
Do you and your former teammates look back at that World Cup? Because I know Ireland do. The Irish team looks back at that Spain game, lost on penalty kicks in the second round, and I'm sure the US do as well. Thinking about Germany made it to the final, lost to Brazil in what was a tightly contested game. What could have been, maybe?
Oh well, the funny thing is we talk about it all the time, and even the German guys after that, normally wouldn't give us the credit.
Yeah.
But they came up, and some of the guys that played with each other in the Bundesliga, from Claudia Reina and different guys playing with those guys, they said, hey, you guys just flat out beat us today. And that was a testament of how well we played to hear that from your opponent, that you just tried to kill.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is, if we win that game, we play South Korea again in the semifinals.
Yeah.
And at that point we were 1-1-1. Counting the tie in the World Cup, won in a friendly in the U.S. against South Korea, and then lost in South Korea to them on another occasion. So, I mean, to think that the U.S. was, winning that game and then playing a team that they were familiar with, already played, and have shown that they could beat, you never know, could be in the finals.
Yeah, it's crazy really when you think about it. And so, with that in mind, the World Cup coming up, what's your thoughts on the U.S. team right now?
I mean, I think they've done well. I mean, they've gotten results. I mean, I think Jurgen has gotten a lot of stick at first, which I don't think, it could be fair, but wasn't, I don't think, fair because we had to give him time to settle in. But I think he's done well with the guys. The unfortunate part is the draw.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you have Ghana first game, which has put us out the last 2 World Cups. But, I believe that if they do well that first game, they're going to get through their group. I think if they get 0 points out of the first game, it's going to be very, very hard just because a team in Portugal.
But Portugal, don't forget, dropped points against the likes of Northern Ireland in qualifying.
I agree, and that's the thing that you got to worry about is because they're playing Germany the first game. So if they drop those points first game, they're coming out, really just salivating really to come at the Americans and stuff.
And also, Germany could already have qualified by the time the US played them, which could be something to consider as well.
Yeah, but I mean, just if you look in the past or whatever, Germany never wants to give up or never wants to let other guys play or anything like that. They're going to play every game whether they're through or not. I think they're going to go out and play to win.
So get off the fence. Come on. What's your prediction?
Prediction? It's a tough one, but I think the U.S. can get out of the group. But it's dependent on that first game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is. Like I said, if they don't, just so you know, I'm not on the fence. If they don't, if they don't get points out of the first game, I think they're done. If they do, I think they go through.
Come out to Fire, Brews and Bites for an afternoon filled with beer, soccer, food and fun on June 14th at Carmichael's Steakhouse. Tickets are $40 and all proceeds benefit the Chicago Fire Foundation.